how can we fireproof our movement to reject authoritarianism? You know, like, what are the safeguards we can build into socialism to where we don't have strongmen, we don't have cults of personality, we don't have the shit that we see with Trump only left, you know? Is that a real concern? If so, how do we address it?
Yeah, of course it is. Most of the major socialist experiments that people point to all around the world, as failures, are examples of poorly implemented socialism. And I recognize this is a no true Scotsman, so I'd like to qualify my statement here by reciting some Marx. Marx believed two things very fundamentally. One, that the transition to socialism, which was one which should be predicated upon a very particular set of material conditions. That is to say, the correct set of economic, social, cultural relationships, you know. That is to say, you shouldn't just jump from feudalism to socialism, which is, of course, what Lenin attempted to do. And he also believed that socialism was good because people should be free. He didn't care about equality. He didn't care about the idea that everyone should end up in the same position in life or everyone should have the same house or whatever. He didn't give a fuck about any of that. He cared about freedom, that people should genuinely be able to walk the rounds of the earth, knowing that it is their oyster and that, short of harming other people, they are free to do as they will and what they like. You know, barring obvious subsistence needs, they'll probably still need their Wheaties in the morning. And I think a lot of socialist experiments that we've seen fail have been products of an unwillingness to adhere to these two fundamental beliefs. That is to say, they were not the product of democracy. So many of these socialist countries didn't emerge because the working class rose up, recognized their collective struggle, and seized the state apparatus as their own. Many of them were a product of, being a little uncharitable here, but warlords and politicians who were able to secure support either from the middle or from the working class or from the peasantry, and fought wars within their own countries to secure the means of production themselves. And while it's a phenomenal way of winning a war, you know, turning the peasantry and the working class to your side, the issue with that is, well, now the founding example of a society that is meant to be built upon freedom and democracy is one in which a autocrat with a cult of personality has led a militia to overthrow the previous aristocracy. And this isn't a very good starting place, in my humble opinion. What socialism should be built from is something called dual power, essentially power within and without government. Usually this takes the place of a political party and of unions. Unions are very important. They represent the interests of the working constituency, and they allow for the opportunity of a general strike, which is the most powerful tool the working class will ever have. And the party within government is necessary because they can carve out legal and bureaucratic exemptions to further the power of the union groups. They work together. And when the people eventually rise up, the idea is that the working class and the politicians shake hands. They've done it together. And collectively, with a system that is in both of their interests, they rule. They then implement a democracy. This is very, very hard to do. And the fact that it is hard to do is the reason why I think we see so many bad examples. And it's why I don't advocate for a revolution in this country at all.
Yeah, to me, it seems like socialism's like, you know,